What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his course. My squad would be T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigos.
Let's do this. Go with me, if you would, over to Deuteronomy chapter 30, starting at verse 15. Reading this in the New King James, it says, "See, I have set before you today life and good and death and evil." Drop down to verse 19, and I'll read this out of the New Living Translation. It says this: "Today I have given you the choice between life and death, between blessings and curses. Now I call on heaven and earth to witness the choice you make. Oh, that you would choose life, so that you and your descendants might live." Tonight I want to talk about choose wisely. And I said that because of being here in Wisconsin and Green Bay. We got to talk about the Packers. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a lot more years to play on a high level for Green Bay. Do you think Green Bay has given him what he needs to win? Because when everybody else was getting, during the free agency, just before the end of trade deadline, they were picking up major pieces. I mean, Brady and Tampa Bay went and got Antonio Brown. Mm-hmm. So that he'd have more weapons. But we, on the other hand, as usual, which is what the Packers do, I don't know if they look at Aaron and say, "Listen, we're not getting you nothing else. You Superman, go be super." Because I know they see what they have in him. That's why they drafted another quarterback. But you could still win championships with this guy if you give him some more pieces. Yeah. But you steadily look at him and go, "I need you to make lemonade out of rotten tomatoes."
Facts.
You know, over there, again, Brady is given every opportunity, every tool it takes to win. Brady has gotten it. But Aaron is like, most of his receivers, you don't know until he made them into somebody. Mm-hmm. Running backs, you don't know until they were made into something. The Packers keep getting these players that nobody knows, mm-hmm. that are 4-year projects. Yeah. That Aaron has to work with and like, listen, I got to get beat up, mm-hmm. hit, my stats are dropping, because you haven't given me somebody who can handle what I do, who thinks on the level of professionalism that I think on, and who is not a gamer like I'm a gamer, but you're asking me, train them to be a gamer, and yet I still want you to win.
Yeah, and unfortunately, some of those projects don't even pan out either. So I think you're spot on. I'm reminded when you talk about Aaron Rodgers not being surrounded with the appropriate talent that you would think a franchise such as Green Bay's stature would surround him with. A couple things to that. The first thing, I was reminded of Kenny Smith, basketball lore, was talking about LeBron James. I'm going to bring it back to Aaron Rodgers. I think this is apropos as an analogy. He was talking about whether or not, Michael Jordan or LeBron James were the best, and he deferred to Michael Jordan, not just from his basketball prowess, but he also is an alum of North Carolina. So he had to go with his Tar Heel brethren. But one of the things he said about LeBron James was, he said, well, whether you think he's the greatest player of all time in basketball or not, I will say this: nobody, no player has done more with less. I think Aaron Rodgers fits that same kind of bill. No player, modern day quarterback, from Peyton Manning to Tom Brady to Drew Brees, you name them, has done more with less than Aaron Rodgers. Remember that Aaron Rodgers, when he came from California to Green Bay, he had to sit on the sidelines for 4 to 7 years behind the will not retire Iron Man Brett Favre. And he didn't, complain. He wasn't a cancer in the locker room. He wasn't saying, when am I going to get my chance? When am I going to get my chance? He didn't do none of that.
What he didn't say?
When am I going to get my chance? When am I going to get my chance? He didn't do any of that. He handled himself with class, aplomb, and maturity and just said, I'll show y'all when I get my shot. He got his shot, and he's shown us. He's been arguably the best quarterback in the NFL since he's been starting, and he has a championship with not that much help. Matter of fact, the year they won the championship, we won the championship, we lost, I think, like 100 games to player injury. So we had a number of players and pieces that didn't even play the full season, and he was still able to lead us to that Super Bowl win. I would have liked for them to taken a chance on Antonio Brown and brought him here to pair him up with Davante Adams, our all-pro receiver. Now, I don't know that I would put Davante Adams as the top receiver in the league, but he has been productive, over 1,000 yards the last couple years. He's earned a Pro Bowl berth, and he is the one weapon that we do have. You pair him with Antonio Brown, who has had 5 or 6 consecutive seasons before he got kicked out the league, essentially, of over 100 catches, and you have a dynamic duo with a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. In addition to that, I would have liked for them to also have picked up Le'Veon Bell, another 60 to 80 passes out of the backfield, and can receive for over 1,000 yards. So we would have a 1,000-yard rusher, a 1,000-yard receiver from the running back position, and 2 all-pros on the bookends from the receiver end. In addition to that, going back a season or 2, I think we should have, on the other side of the ball, picked up Khalil Mack as the all-pro linebacker before Chicago got him. So had we done those moves right there, you're looking at potentially maybe 2 more rings that we could have had going back from, let's say, 2017, 2018 up until now. Because despite not making one of them moves, we went to, the NFC Championship game last year? So Aaron Rodgers, even with him not being afforded the supporting cast that we all think he should have and continue to have had, I think that he's really handled himself admirably, still been out there, productive, and his gamesmanship, his willingness to give it everything he has, his minimalist on the mistake tip. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. He's even improved getting rid of the ball because he used to hang on to the ball too much, take a couple sacks when he shouldn't have took some sacks. I mean, he can scramble still, getting up there in age, but can still scramble for a first down. I mean, he's still jamming. He's still putting on lights-out displays, even with a subpar supporting cast, and it's almost criminal that the Packers have not given him the support that I think he dutifully deserves. And had they have done that, I think we would have had a few more rings. And I think he might still have maybe, 2, maybe 3 seasons left in him at this level of productivity, because now he can use just, his savvy and moxie as a quarterback and doesn't have to rely on any overwhelming physical tools because he's been in the game a long time. He's played at a high level. He's had a outstanding success. He knows it. He's a master at that quarterback position, and if he just had a little bit more help, right, it would be tremendous.
Do you think that the Packers organization has been sending a message to Aaron for the last 5 to 7 years that, hey, we know you're a great quarterback, but we're not going to open the purse for anybody else other than you? We did that earlier when we were Reggie White, where we got him, we had Brett, then we got Joyner, I think it was. Mm-hmm. We opened up.
Andre Rison.
Right. Mm-hmm. We opened up Howard. The purse. Yeah, it did. We did buy ourselves a championship, a Super Bowl, but right after that, they blew it up.
Yeah.
They blew it up like, yeah, we're not going to keep paying this money. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is a victim of stingy executives.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Green Bay is unique in a number of ways. And rest in peace, Green Bay great Paul Hornung, Hall of Famer, helped Vince Lombardi win a number of early championships with the team. God bless your family. May the Spirit of God keep the hearts and minds of your survivors. Rest in peace to Paul Hornung, the running back, great for the Packers. I think that the unique nature of Green Bay is that it's a community-owned team, sellouts, going back years. I think there's a waiting list to get tickets for the games. It's a juggernaut. And surrounding Lambeau Field, many of the residential places there, they let you park there, pay for parking and stuff like that. Titletown it's an anomaly. It's a one-of-a-kind type of situation. And I think that going back to that Super Bowl year was the 96 that we won. Matter of fact, we went back to the Super Bowl the very next year and lost to Denver. And Terrell Davis, who went for over 200 yards, just went crazy that game.
Right.
There's been this philosophy of what we're going to do. We're going to get the biggest bang for our buck.
Right.
We're going to play hardball in what we're willing to spend, and we'll live with the consequences. It would be great to have, the glory years. I mean, they call Green Bay Title Town. Not going to call it for nothing. They won championships back to back, going back to the 60s, though. And in this modern era, we won the two, one with Brett Favre, one with Aaron Rodgers, that we mentioned a little bit ago.
Right.
But I think that the philosophy has been we don't want to spend a lot on free agents and bring them in and have these interlopers on our squad to help us be more competitive. But even if that is a philosophy that you've had, some modicum of success, you won a couple championships that way over the span of 20 years, though, I think that you get what you call the law of diminishing returns. You can stand by, whatever your standards are, your values, your philosophy, your way of doing things. But if you at the same time are saying we ultimately want to win, that's our main motivation.
Right.
If you're not demonstrating that, you're false flagging. Your words are betraying your true intentions. The Bible even says that faith without works is dead, being alone. So the works are the corresponding actions that you take to back up what you claiming you are expecting. So if you expect to win, but you are unwilling to do what it takes to win, i.e. signing the best players, even if they happen to be free agents, you have to open your wallet up a little bit wider than you would have previously to win. You are matching your words with your mouth or putting your money where your mouth is. But I think that to your point, they have been overly frugal in their decision-making and willingness to pay top dollar for the different pieces that Green Bay would need to get to the next level. I think this year we're still balling. I think we're in first or tied for first and still having some success, and we expect to go to the playoffs and go pretty far, but I don't think it's a realistic expectation that we can win a Super Bowl with what we have. On the AFC side, you got Kansas City, which is looking like Kansas City. They might repeat. And you got an 8-0 Pittsburgh Steelers team, or undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers team that's over there as well. So I don't know that we even make it out of, the NFC with the Seattles of the world, here, and an exciting, Arizona Cardinals team. I mean, we got some vulnerabilities. So hats off to what they've been able to scrap and piece together.
And we cannot stop the run.
And we can, and then the defense, that's a whole nother topic. The defense
cooked us.
Man, he really, really did. With a pressure cooker, a crock pot, and he put some stuff on the grill.
And an air fryer.
Right.
That joker cooked us on one side and flipped us over at halftime and cooked us on the other.
Exactly.
I'm like, is anybody gonna tackle dude?
Anybody, somebody, like Simba in Lion King. But I think just to wrap this piece up, I think that it would be helpful for the Packers brass to open the wallet up a bit more on both sides of the ball, give Aaron a bit more weaponry on the offense, and get some stoppers on defense so we won't be gashed by running backs for career days when they play against us.
Do you think the stockholders, the fans who own parts of the Green Bay, How do you think they have any say so on whether or not they're going to get these free agents, or they're just silent partners?
Yeah, I think they are advisory the only. I think there's some line of demarcation between decision making as far as personnel for the team and ownership that the stockholders, you know what I'm saying, have. And with that, I think there's a lot of power vested in the general manager and president positions with Green Bay. And they haven't, really rocked the boat that much. They came into a tradition and haven't been willing to say, hey, man, bump tradition. This is what we're going to do because we want to win. And I think it becomes problematic. And for them, I think that it'll be interesting to see once Aaron Rodgers stops playing. Brett Favre had Aaron Rodgers as his successor. So we were able to ball out and jam. I don't know that we have an Aaron Rodgers for Aaron Rodgers' successor. And
they drafted that quarterback high. Was it Love?
Yeah.
They drafted him extremely high. Like,
it was the first round pick. And even
and our first pick.
Even with that, his draft position, I don't think necessarily translates into he can ball out. I mean, we have to see on the field. We don't have a crystal ball, but all indications are, as far as I'm concerned, he ain't no Aaron Rodgers. That's just, he went to Utah State, and we didn't even hear about him. And I watched college football. We didn't even hear about him until he got drafted. So if you were the bomb, I know you have some people that slip through the cracks, some diamonds in the rough, blah, blah, blah. If you are this bona fide, just cold dude, how come we weren't hearing about you in the same breath as Tua Tagovailoa, whatever dude, Tua from Miami, went to Alabama, him, and Trevor Lawrence from, Clemson, and these other, even Joe Burrow from LSU. Right. I mean, we've had some quarterback all-stars, you know what I'm saying? Over the last 2 or 3 seasons, your name didn't come up in any of those conversations. So I'm saying it's going to be tough for that. But I was bringing that point up to say that we've been able to still, despite what we think are financial missteps by Packers brass, have some consistent success. We expect to go to the playoffs every year. We expect, even faintly, to contend for the Super Bowl every year. Yeah. Once Aaron isn't there anymore, how long does Green Bay's fans, even the diehard, tailgate all year, go out to the frozen tundra with the shirt off and just the cheese, even them jokers? How many seasons of 4 and 12?
The green and gold painted bodies.
All of that. How many 4 and 12 consecutive seasons, 3 and 13, 5 and 11, can they put up with before they even start saying, hey, man, we need some for real players, open up that wallet. And if that means you have to raise ticket prices or parking, whatever needs to be done, we'd rather spend money and be competitive than be ultra cheap and be the laughing stock of the league.
So what you're saying is we don't want to go back to our Magic Man days.
Nah, man. Don Mikowski, you had that one playoff year. You came in, did a little bit, but, most of your quarterback tenure was foul.
I think Green Bay is going to go down if they keep what they're doing with Aaron Rodgers. They're going to go down as one of the most horrible franchises in the NFL, because you had a player that you could have created a dynasty with, and you didn't give him what he needed because you were too stingy. Mm-hmm. You said frugal. I don't know what that means, but I do know them jokers are stingy.
Same thing.
Right, but only different. But we have to look at this and go, okay, what is ownership's legacy going to be like with this guy? Because we could have very easily had 5 to 7 championships if we would have got him the pieces.
Yeah, we could have rivaled the New England Patriots run as the best team in football over the past 10 seasons.
Without a doubt. But now we're looking at you having Michael Jordan and never getting him a Scottie Pippen.
Right.
And going, yeah, you're just going to have to win with a bunch of Jim Paxsons.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Or you're going to have to win with a bunch of Olowokandis. Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me?
Right.
You know, and so I think Aaron is going to get, after this year, I'm not a prophet, but I think after this year, if they don't get him, if they don't tell him they're getting pieces, I think he's bolting. I think he's gone because he's like, listen, I got maybe 3-4 years left, and I want to go to a team. If Tom Brady can do it, I can do it, and I got more in the tank than Tom Brady does.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Send me someplace where I can win a championship because they have the pieces, they just don't have the quarterback. And, you know, he could very easily go to Detroit or Minnesota or even Chicago and do it.
Yeah, I think it'll be, that would be.
And he would do it just like Brett Favre did, to just thumb it in the nose of the Packers.
Out of spite.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, he like, yep, I'm playing in the division just so I can come and light y'all up.
Yeah, I could see it as a possible scenario. I would think maybe more probable if he does bolt. I would see him maybe going, back out west somewhere, maybe landing with the Las Vegas Raiders, or even, making a stab at the LA Rams. Someplace where he also, as he's getting older, can retire in a warmer climate. You know what I'm saying? That might stretch some things out for him also.
Or even Jacksonville.
Yeah, someplace warm. I think the West Coast has the advantage of both being warm and he has roots there because he's from California.
Right.
But that warmth piece, I think, is important because Tom Brady coming back, I think because it was in Tampa, Florida, I think they had a lot to do with his willingness to go to another team as well as Rob Gronkowski's willingness to come out of retirement and still play, not just to play with his buddy Tom Brady, but it's in Florida. Okay, I can come on back with 80 degrees all year. That'll
a bad
work.
game on the field equates to a good game on the surfboard.
Right.
Or in your boat.
The after set is going to be off the chain.
Regardless. So, speaking of who do you think, looking at the 2020 season, who do you think some of the best rookies have been this year?
Oh, man.
Of course, the inevitable one or the main one is Joe Burrow.
Yeah. I mean, he stood out. I mean, I think Tua, when he got his chance to start with Miami, I think has showed some really good promise as well.
But you can't give him too much right now because it's only been a game or two.
Yeah. I mean, he's been balling. I like the kid that also, I forget his name, played running back at LSU with Joe Burrow over at Kansas City. He's been standing out, as well.
Well, let me do this. I'll give you the top few.
Okay.
What NFL ranked as top few. Number 1, Joe Burrow, top rookie. Mm-hmm. Number 2, Justin Jefferson, wide receiver for Minnesota.
Okay.
Number 3, Antonio Winfield Jr., down in Tampa.
He has been balling out. His daddy, though, went to Ohio State as well and was an all-pro NFLer, too. So he got good genes.
Number 4, is it Mekhi Beacon?
Mm-hmm. Becton?
Becton? Yeah, Becton, you're right.
But have the Jets won a game this year, though?
I'm going to go with no.
Yeah, so he's in a real tough situation in the Big Apple with a Little Apple squad.
Number 5, Justin Herbert.
Yeah, Aber from Oregon. Yeah, he has been pleasantly surprised. Watching him in college, he was a big guy,
you didn't see that
or whatever. I didn't see it. Oregon has always been a high-powered, high-flying, greatest show on turf, junior kind of program. And, he was, there leading them. Went to the playoffs or whatever, but I didn't see what he's doing now. He got to the NFL. He's been lighting it up with the Chargers. I'm talking about putting pinpoint bombs right there, dropping them right in the sack. Great tosses. Yeah, he's been probably maybe the biggest surprise to me personally in terms of productivity and looking pro-ready.
Right.
I didn't think he was going to do this. He
looks just as good, if not better, than Burrow.
Yeah. Pound for pound, he's holding his own at this particular point.
And at this point, you cannot call Burrow the
Rookie of the Year.
Nope, because this cat's been doing it.
And they're winning.
Right.
They might be tied for first place in the division. So, he's probably been the biggest surprise.
Right. Number
Of all the
6, they
rookies.
got Chase Young for
Washington.
the Washington football team. You get no credit just because your team's got no name. Get a team with a name and come back and talk to us, bro.
The no names.
Right, bro. What the? I digress. Listen, number 7, CeeDee Lamb,
Yeah, Dallas.
receiver. Well, he was doing great before Dak.
You took the words right out of my mouth, man. Dak, he might be the biggest casualty next to Dak himself
Right.
of Dak's, unfortunate injury, because they had some good chemistry going. He was finding his rhythm. He was showing he was worthy of the number 1 pick coming out of Oklahoma. I mean, he was balling out.
Number 8, they have Tristan Wirth, offensive tackle for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's making sure that Brady is able to do what he's doing.
So Tampa has 2 people on here.
Right.
That's, again, surrounding the quarterback with some
Pieces.
up-and-coming talent and pieces. Exactly. Wow.
And then there's Clyde Edward-Helaire.
That's the cat, the running back, Kansas
Yeah,
City.
yeah.
Yeah, that little dude. And you think about Kansas City, just as a
Yeah.
little sidebar here, Kansas City, remember, like maybe 2 seasons ago, had Kareem Hunt,
Right.
who was highly productive, rushing and coming out of the backfield, got into some off-the-field stuff, domestic violence stuff. They got rid of him. They brought in Damian Jones as his replacement. They won the Super Bowl last year.
Right.
Coming into this year with the disruptive nature of COVID-19, players had an opportunity to either come back or opt out or safety concerns or whatever. He opted out, and they got young fella.
Right.
So 3 consecutive years, they've had 3 different running backs and have had great success.
Right. They got Clyde the Glide.
They got Clyde the Glide. Yes, a football verse.
Right.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And we'll close it out with number 10, James Robinson, running back for Jacksonville Jaguars.
Pleasant surprise.
Yeah, so listen. Thanks for hanging out with us again. Another great show. We're looking forward to seeing you next week. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere where social media is, so are we. Check us out. For those of you listening to us, you can see what we look like. Just to let you know, yes, I look extremely good. So until
Me
next
too.
week, have an amazing week. Peace.